Hey guys, ATrueHero here. Before we begin the video, I'd like to take a moment to tell you about my Patreon. Please consider joining for access to exclusive videos and other content. It really helps the channel grow. Also, join my free Discord to get involved with the ATrueHero community. The links will be in the description below. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy today's video, and remember, there's a hero in all of us.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy, ATrueHero. And today, I'm with the #1 ranked dueling book player, Bad Robot. Bad Robot, how does it feel to be on the channel and also to come in top 8, another top added to your record of accomplishments?
Yeah, it feels good. I didn't think I'd be able to top an event after coming back last year, thinking that zombies were the deck, and then getting stomped by Black Wings and Bayou all day. So it took me a bit to transition into Diva Hero because I didn't think the deck was good. Just because of a true hero, he always cries about Mally, Double Diva, Gilman, and Miracle Fusion, and you just can't play the game.
I definitely do cry a lot about bad hands with Diva Hero. People on the outside don't realize how much I cry about it. Because if you play me in person, I'm like stone cold. But yeah, I'm happy you were able to switch over to Diva Hero because now you've become the people's champ. People look up to you and Televisual, of course, when it comes to Diva Hero. So you're the king now. You are the king of Diva Hero.
I'm trying. Until you come back.
Might be a bit. But today what we're going to do is we're actually going to analyze one of your sets that you played in the tournament. And it's actually against Soul. Now, I've actually played Soul before, and he's a proficient zombie player. Diva Hero versus zombies can be a bit of a difficult matchup because one of the things that Diva Hero struggles with is actually dealing with recruiters. There's no way to deal with recruiters and floaters easily outside of a Caius or banishing or removing your own zero from the field.
Or Dark End Dragon, too.
I mean, or Dark End, or Dark Arm, or if you have all the broken cards.
You just have to have all the broken cards then, I guess.
So we do see that he does win the RPS and he goes first. Did you know that he was on zombies?
I didn't know what he was playing, bro. I just thought that was a Raikou.
Yeah, that's generally like the best read that you can make.
Like, I'm attacking anyways because, like, I want to know, I get information attacking. And then if I just set it, he literally just goes off next turn. And he could have went off next turn, but, I just set a bunch of cards, so.
Right.
But at least and then attacking into it actually, like, it helped me out, as you'll see in a second.
Yeah, I mean, with this hand, if I was playing, I would have made the exact same play because, I mean, once again, I know that Soul is typically on zombies because I've played them before in the past. Nevertheless, even if I didn't know that, I still think summoning Sangan and attacking to the face down is one of the best plays because outside of you running into Hamster Raikou Caius, attacking into a face down monster with Sangan is beneficial for the turn player.
Yeah, and if it is like a Hamster Raikou or something, I can just pass, and if they banish it, I mean, I'm just going to go off because I can just set 3 next turn.
Yep.
And I have return set, so.
And I think this is really good because outside of the opponent having Heavy Storm, you're in like a really solid position. And what I would read is that my opponent either has a Caius or a Plague/Diva in their hand.
Yeah, so, I was assuming he had Caius. That's why I just said everything. I was just like, well, you just got to play.
Okay. So this is good. So you search out the Army Knight, which is really good. And wow,
Armageddonite was probably like the #1 search card of the entire event. Like every time that I hit Sangan, I always search Armageddonite because I don't know what it was, but I was drawing Diva like it was, I don't know, like it was at 40.
Right, and even before you milled the Plague, searching out Army Knight was the best choice because, as you just said, you have Diva in your hand, right? So you can summon Army Knight, send a Malicious, and then the following turn go for a Diva play.
Yeah, it's just setting up the future plays. That's what I was mostly doing throughout the entire event was just Armageddon first turn, send Mally, and then it's like a OTK like the turn or two later, depending on what I draw. But if I have Diva, I'm pretty much gonna kill them, especially if I have Miracle, because that'll be Colossal, Brio, and Zero.
Right.
Just off Armageddonite. Armageddonite and Diva is pretty much OTK if you have a Miracle Fusion.
Now this is a bit unfortunate because Soul actually forces a play right here because he didn't actually have to go for this main phase 2 play, but he wants to banish your plague out of the grave. So I actually understand his logic and reasoning behind it because plague can cause a lot of problems, but it doesn't even really hurt you that much because with your current hand, you have so many possibilities. Worst comes to worst, you can even make Black Rose, though I doubt you would because it would put you in a negative game state. But there's not much that Soul can do to you in the position that he's in.
Yeah. I mean, when he did that there and he banished the plague, like he could have went for like a Doom Kaiser play if he wanted to. But I feel like when he did that, he was just desperate because he didn't have anything.
Right. I mean, I agree. And depending on his back rows, Doom Kaiser probably would have been the better choice because the problem with Revive King Kaides is he doesn't do anything against a Caius, right? So you could easily
No.
go like Prodigy, sack Caius.
Yeah, and then I ripped the dust shoot, which it kind of worked out. I don't think I really did anything after that. I think I just summoned Armageddonite and then sent Maligas with dust shoot
Right.
because
That's
I
what I was
wanted
about to say.
to see what
Given
he
this
had.
hand, that's what I would have done as well. Summon Army Knight, send Mali. You don't have to worry about the Mali getting banished unless he has another Book of Life, which
Look
would be
alive.
really savage. And then set Dust
Yeah.
Shoot. And as long as he passes priority during his draw phase, you flip it and you can get an idea of what's going on from his point of view.
Yeah, and
Yep.
the dust shoot was pretty good too because I mean he wasn't gonna do anything crazy here, but now I know what I can do to him next
So
turn. Like I'm not even worried about Tragodia either because I have Wing Blast too.
for all those who are watching at home, just like I said, notice what Bad Robot did. Though he had the dust shoot, he didn't activate it immediately and during the draw phase. He waited until Soul went to the main phase, right? And then he flipped dust shoot. So that means that Soul is actually passing priority. So in the standby phase, Bad Robot can activate Trap Dust Shoot. If he did it immediately during the draw phase, then Soul could argue that he's going to use his draw phase priority, activate MST, and then choose a different back row other than Trap Dust Shoot. And now that Trap Dust Shoot would never get activated for the rest of the game because Soul will make sure to stay under 4 cards. And the MST will hit a critical card that Bad Robot has. So keep in mind when you have Trap Dust Shoot, wait until your opponent passes their draw phase priority before activating it.
Yep, that's exactly what I did,
So here, yep,
and it
send
worked
back
out.
the Diva. And
I
now
mean,
his
I could
hand
have
just
sent back the Tragodia too, just so that I ensure like a hard push next turn. But I was like, he could have like a Wing Blast or something set, and then I'd be kind of screwed because he can go into a level 8 and a level 6 Brio, and it just gets real ugly. So I was like, I'd rather just get him out of here and
right.
not risk.
And also, I mean, you can argue, but there's not really a good card to discard right now with your Wing Blast, right? You can argue that you
No,
can set discard Prodigy, but I really like Prodigy because once again, if you pull a card like Caius, this is an amazing combo card. And even just Prodigy and Diva itself is a great combo as well because you can go special summon Prodigy, normal summon Diva, get Spine Gilman, and then you can like synchro, make Armory Arm. If you draw into a Miracle Fusion, then you can play it, right? So there's so many combos that you can play by having these two cards in your hand that you really don't want to use your Wing Blast on this Hot S. Plus, you're at
and you
7850, so there's no way that he's going to be able to kill you. So Hot S isn't a problem right now.
the funniest thing was with this hand, if that wasn't a Revive King, if it was anything else, I can just armor him OTK him next turn.
Yep.
But Revive King negates the Colossal Fighter when it dies, so that
Revive King
wouldn't
is
work.
one of the best synchros in Edison format, and I always wanted to find a way to utilize him in Diva Hero because I mean, of course, Diva Hero plays Brionic and Goyu Guardian, but if there was a way to fit Revive King because we already play Plague, it'd be amazing. But then you'd have to play a build similar to like Jake XO's build where you play the zombie package, and it's just too many things going on, too many moving parts, and it's quite difficult to reliably bring out Revive King in Diva Hero.
Yeah, you got to pick one side. It's either Diva or you're gonna pick the zombie side.
Now
Like Jake
here,
found a way to fit him in, but it's
yeah, it's
still
a
more
lot.
Diva or more zombie oriented.
Now here you draw on the Gores, which is probably one of the worst draws that you can have at this point, especially considering you have Solemn Judgment set. So Gores here is not the best. Um, but the good thing is you actually have Return set as well. You don't have a way
Yeah,
to utilize it. So, I mean, what you could do
I can
is
make another level 8.
right. I was about to say what you could do is special summon Prodigy, and this is what I would do, right? Because I would have a feeling that the clock is ticking, right? So what I would do, considering the fact you have Wing Blast, I would go Wing Blast on one of the back rows. I would just roll a die, and we can see that they're both chainable, but it doesn't really matter if you hit a chainable one or not. And then at that point, I would go banish Molly. I mean, special summon Prodigy, banish Molly, special summon Molly, uh, special a normal summon Diva, get Diva, and then you can make a level 4, a level 8, and then you have return as well. So that
Yeah.
pretty much is what I would do. But let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I just played it safe. I was like, he's gonna have to deal.
Yep. So this is pretty much exactly what I would have done. The only difference is I would also had army arm on my field.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep the prodigy just to have it just in case. Because you never know if he has some way to clear my board, and then the Gorge is live now, or for some reason it's like, oh, hey. Instead of now, like at least I have the prodigy for discard too.
Right. And here he draws into Starlight Road, which is completely useless. And then he'll probably draw into something that doesn't do anything here. Yeah, this hand doesn't do anything. He does have Plague in the grave, so he can like make a Goyu Guardian. That's like his only play. But I mean, you have Wing Blast, so that's pretty much should just wrap up this game.
Yeah, he's gonna try, but the wing blast on the plague sets it off. That's the game.
Yeah. And like here, he's just kind of making like desperate plays. Like he can there's not even really a good card for him to
He,
search
he,
out.
he can't do anything because he already used his normal summon. Plague
Right.
is gone. He can add plague.
Yeah.
Then like you can Air Reaper and pitch and take.
Yeah,
He
that's
could
what I
take
was
the
thinking as well, but it's
like
like taking a Spine Gilman doesn't do anything.
yeah.
So
So it's pretty much over.
yeah, he's just stalling at
Setting
this. Oh,
bluffs.
and then you draw the miracle. Oh my god, spicy. Very spicy.
So
But
that was
yeah,
like what, 2 turns, third turn game.
right. Yeah, I mean that set's over. That was very, very, very well played. Um yeah,
And then
sure.
this game was pretty funny. Like
So
I
actually
didn't respect
before
him.
before we get into this game, right? Actually, I'm sure everybody at home is curious, but what did you side against the zombie matchup for Diva Hero? We could see that you have
Yeah, I mean
Karma
Karma
Cuts.
Cut. So against zombies, depending on which one they're playing, like if they're playing the instant one, um, I usually side in vanities with Karma Cuts because you want to get rid of that little pesky fusion that just keeps coming back. But I did double crow, double Karma Cut, and I believe I sided in deck Devi against them too.
Yeah, Deck Heavy is really
Just
good against zombies. This was
I
a
sided out, yeah, I sided out bottomlesses because I mean it doesn't really hit anything until they get to a synchro. Bottomlesses, double wing blast. So what's that? 2 crow for 2 bottomless, 2 wing blast for 2 karma cuts. I think I put deck Deviant for dust shoot since I was going second, and he plays like he set a lot of back row last game, so I didn't want to have a dead draw.
yeah, I
And I
pretty
don't
much
remember if
agree.
I sided in. I don't remember if I sided out Gold Sarks. I'm not sure. But if I did, I probably would have sided in like Vanities and Smashing Ground.
My
But I think
only
I just did those 5 cards.
my only thing about what you said, because I pretty much agree with everything you said. Those are some of the best cards to side against zombies. Is I'm a little iffy on taking out bottomlesses against zombies because zombies their highlight play is when they make Brionic, and usually when they make Brionic, they make it with a card like Goblin Zombie. And if you bottomless Brionic when they use Goblin Zombie as a synchro monster material, actually they don't get priority. So bottomless is actually really effective there. And also bottomlessing a card like Zombie Master can be pretty good too. And if they go priority and pitch, then they also don't get the card as well. So I do think bottomless is a little bit better than people think against zombies because of the fact that it stops their biggest play and it also stops a lot of their other combos plays too. And then you can bottomless most of their synchros that they bring out too, right? With the exception of Stardust. But zombies can't make Stardust as easily as most decks unless they have the malicious
Diva.
package, and most of them don't play that version. So I think bottomless is actually quite good against zombies. I mean, even in this hand, right? You could bottomless and you could hit the Mizuki, which is really good, and you could hit Dark Arm, which obviously you want to get rid of that guy. But I understand why people sided out because they also do have a lot of small guys, right? Tomato, Goblin Zombies, Spirit Reapers, things like that.
Yeah, I just take it out because I just every time I have it in against them, it just sits there, and I get beat up by a Spirit Reaper. And it's like, okay, this bottomless is awful. And then like by the time that I do bottomless something, they're chiasing my monster. So it's like, yeah, this did nothing. Like, so I understand what you're saying, where you wait for like a synchro push or something like that, but The plan is to not even let them get there. So that's
Yeah.
why I do the karma cuts and deck debut. So they didn't even get an opportunity to get into their synchro packages. They're
And
just
I,
dead pretty
and I
much.
do like that logic. And the cool thing about Karma Cut is it's so versatile because one, it stops them from getting to the synchro as you just mentioned, and two, if things go south and you pulled it after the fact, you still can Karma Cut. Whereas the problem with bottomless, and this is something that me and you've talked about before, like off stream, we both have our gripes with bottomless because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the card is just you have to play it, but the times that you have it is like, man, you suck.
Yeah.
So
All
like
right.
I usually side it out against a lot of matchups, but then when I was siding it and not maining it, I always sided it back in against like everything. It was just like, yeah, this card just had to stay in the main deck.
Yep. That's
Just
exactly how I
garbage.
felt as well. All right, so this hand is not the best, and once again, speak of the devil. If the opponent had like a Spirit Reaper or like little guys at this hand, you're just going to eat a lot of damage because you don't really want to commit any cards to the field with this hand. Now, me personally, if I'm bad robot, if I'm a true hero, I would just set Karma Cut and pass. Right? I don't want to set Solemn return because it's too risky to lose to Heavy Storm, and also I prefer to set Solemn Judgment right before I make a big push. So
Yeah.
I'm just setting Karma Cut and passing, but let's. Okay, yeah, same. And now your hand went from being brick to being broken just like that. That's
Yeah, so this is
crazy.
the funny thing is like I didn't respect him. And he ripped you see if you notice he ripped the Tragodia by the way.
Right.
So he just drew the Tragodia for turn. So I didn't think he had anything. So you'll see I went crazy because it's like I said, the deck was killing everybody in 2 turns throughout the entire day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, right? So what I would do, I mean, obviously we're gonna road it for Dark Greffer here, and I'm going pitch Molly, special summon Greffer, normal summon Plague, making Goyu, dropping Dark Arm, making Stardust. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making Stardust Goyu Dad. I don't know what the exact life point calculation on that, but I know it's over 8,000, right? So I'm making
Yeah,
Stardust
yeah.
Goyu Dad, and I'm banishing both of his cards because I have Dark Arm and I have Return, and I'm not really too worried. And if he drops Gores, also I have Karma Cut as well. So it's just like I'm just not really worried about anything. So that's what I'm doing. So let's see how this
Yeah, I
turn
didn't
plays
do
out.
that. So I didn't expect him to have Tragodia. So I could have made Dark End here, but I didn't. And that screwed me over because he ended up, you'll see after I do all this craziness.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wasn't even considering Dark End, right? So my play was actually Stardust, Goyu, and Dark Arm because it's a good field whether you kill him that turn or not because it's over 8,000 and also like having Stardust behind a Karma Cut, Stardust behind a Solemn, like good luck to the opponent. So I mean, yeah, I definitely think that Stardust Goyu Dad would have been a little bit better because now this field is like kind of vulnerable to a clapback. But let's see
But
how it
if I
plays
did
out.
start as Goyo Dad, I would I wouldn't have a card, right? Go back? Can you or you can't rewind it, right?
Yeah, no, there's no
I would have
rewinds on Dueling Book, but I mean, we're
that
smart
was the
people,
issue. The
right?
Karma Cut was dead. Yeah, the Karma Cut was dead. That's why I see what you're saying, but the Karma Cut I would just have Solemn.
Right.
So either way you'll like I still lose anyways, you'll see why, but
Okay.
if I would have made that play, it still would have been game too.
Yeah, but actually, I'm curious. So let me think right here. Before we go on, let's see. So obviously, this Necro would be in the deck. You have Molly in your hand. You have Plague in your hand. You know what? Just because I'm not smart, I'm just gonna just refresh. That just makes things so much easier. The good thing about Dueling Book, and actually a lot of people don't really know this, but you can actually skip games. You don't have to watch the whole replay again. If you just go to this kind of like icon and then press next game, it takes you right to the next game. So let's just fast forward and go to your turn 2 hand and see how my play would have fared out and the cards that you would have had. So here he sets a monster and he passes. So you're going to rotate it here for Greffer. So now let's see. If you pitch Malicious, now Malicious is gone.
Yep.
So that means you have Greffer on the board. Then you summon Plague, so Plague is gone. So now you make Goyu Guardian. So now in your hand you have Dark Arm. You summon Dark Arm. Now in your hand you have Solemn and Return. So
Yep.
you have to stack a card in order to make Stardust. So you can stack because you already have a Karma Cut set. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm probably actually with this hand I'm going to send back the both cards are really good. So because I'm planning on, yeah, it's actually quite a difficult choice. I'm definitely keeping Return 100%. I'm definitely keeping Return, But honestly, because I have Karma Cut set, I probably would wind up just stacking the Solemn Judgment and getting rid of it because like I don't want to pull it later. It's like I want it set that turn. So I'm going to stack Solemn and then banish Mali for Mali and make Stardust. So I have Stardust Go You Dad on the field with a Karma Cut set and return in my hand. So that's where I would be at. And in my graveyard, the darks, I would have 2 darks because Plague would be banished. So Greffer and Malicious would be in the grave. So once again, I'm popping both, pop. And then I'm going to attack in order from lowest to highest, which means I can actually take this Tragodia. So that's very important too, because that means that's 1 less dark in his grave for Dark Arm, right? And so he would have, well, it depends what he get. He wouldn't get anything with Tomato because that's popped. So he would have.
Goblins bigger. He'll be 3,000.
His Tragodia would be at 3K. Yeah,
that's what
right.
screwed me over. I didn't think he had. I didn't think he had. I thought he had a recruiter set. And
yeah. So with my play, you would have won on that turn, right? Because then he drops Tragodia, and then you just Karma Cut it and pitch the return, right? So, but I mean, it's okay. It's kind of hard to see.
I mean,
plays.
that definitely would have won the game for sure.
It's kind of hard to see plays in the moment, so and nevertheless, you still were able to win. So it's good to see like how different people play different hands, and that's kind of what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like everybody plays the game differently. So here he drops Tragodia and it's at 3,000.
Wait, did I have Karma Cut set, right?
Yeah, you did have Karma Cut here, right?
I mean, I still wouldn't have been game though, because it would have been another 45, so he would have been at 1,800.
Yeah, right.
So, or no, it would have been 56, so he would have been at 700.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, I could have Karma Cut it, but I mean,
yeah. Honestly, with your hand here, I wouldn't have Karma Cut it because there's an argument, right?
If I would have made your play, it would have been Goyo, Stardust, Dark Arm. So it would have been 25.
Yeah, it would have been
Dark Arm 28, and then he drops Trag, and then I'd Karma Cut in his game.
Yeah, right.
So your play would have been better.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying here.
Dark End, though,
yeah, but what I'm saying here with your play is like, because you were debating on whether or not to Karma Cut this Tragodia, but it's just like, I probably would have still Karma. It's really hard to say. It's really, really hard to say because you get one benefit by Karma Cutting this Tragodia, and that is, since you already did the math, if he takes 5,600 more and he's at 700, that means he's out of brain control range, right? Yeah. And that's a card that I think about often. But at the same time, you lose your best clapback card, right? Which is, wait, where did the return go? Oh, I guess you stacked it.
I stacked it. Yeah, stacked. I was trying to set up a board that he couldn't break, and like I didn't think he had Tragodia, so I was just setting up and then set Solemn, and like if he had brain, it was dead. And then, like, anything that he did try to do, I was just going to Solemn, and then he just loses.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I see. Then, yeah, what I would have done is I would have just Karma Cutted the Stragodia and pitched the Solemn. Because, like, if he claps back and you have return, like I said, he would need MST or Heavy Storm, which he could have possibly had because all he was doing was setting monsters, right? So, from my point of view, he has Spell and Trap removal, and that's why he hasn't been setting anything.
Yeah. But it would have just been game anyways if I would have done that. But, look, he stole my Dark Arm.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So I mean, I didn't respect him that game, and then like game 3, I had to like not play like an idiot. Like game after game 1, where I just like spanked him, I was like, whatever. Game 2, I'm not gonna respect what you have. You're not real. And then game 3, I was like, okay, let me slow down because I'm getting a little excited.
Yeah, actually, Soul. I mean, I don't remember what specifically, but I know that he actually has quite a few accomplishments in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like he's not like a random scrub. He's actually quite good at the game.
Yeah. I think he won an event with zombies and he topped another one with zombies too.
Right. Yeah. So he's actually, he knows what he's doing. Right. Yeah. Now this hand is definitely a little awkward. But I mean, I'm just setting the Snowman Eater and passing because I hate when if I just pass and my opponent goes Summon Spirit Reaper, attack, drop a card out of your hand. So I'm just setting Snowman Eater and passing. Right. Okay.
This is why Snowman Eater is so good. Like, Snowman Eater put in so much work. Like, I don't even care if I kill the Goblin Zombie. That's 800 damage that he takes now.
Right.
And there's no monster on the board, so it's a clear field.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this hand is, like, once again, a true hero, bad at math. But I'm pretty sure if you pull, like, a Greffer next turn, you could probably just kill him. You probably can just kill him.
I have Greffer.
Not Greffer, sorry, Malicious.
Mally.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh wow, look at that.
Baby.
I just said that. That. I mean, let's see, it's funny, right? So I don't play Diva Hero like at all anymore, but obviously I still know the deck like the back of my hand as it shows. So I mean, I'm just gonna go for it, right? Because you have brain control as a clapback. So I'm gonna heavy
Yep.
storm, pitch Molly, special summon Greffer, normal summon Diva, get Diva, and I'm just gonna make the strongest level 5 and level 8 that I can make, and just attack with everything. And once again, if I'm actually playing tournament setting, I would calculate like if I can make game with Dark End, because the only thing that could be a little risky is like you don't want to put yourself in a bad position if you don't have to. So if you can make game with Dark End, I would make that play. But if you can't and you need to make a bigger level 8 like Colossal Fighter or Red Dragon Archfiend, then like that's what I would make. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll
Well,
see
it
how.
did help out that he was at 7,200 too.
Yeah, that Snowman Eater put in
That
work.
800, that 800 is what set it over, I believe.
Yep. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Oh yeah. And that's nice. This actually plays around Gores too.
Yep, that's why I did that.
And I love the GG my son.
No, but he said, "What a hard way to go out."
Yeah, I mean, like whenever people lose against Diva Hero, they always feel some type of way because you literally killed him. This is your first battle phase, right?
Look, yeah, if you look, game one was turn 3, so my second battle phase, and then game 2, I could have killed him in one turn, but
Yeah.
I'd ruined and played like a dummy. And then game 3 was one turn, one battle phase. So
So every game, you could just
every game, like the entire match was like 4 turns.
yeah. I mean, and I'm sure like you guys, the cool thing is you can check the log to see the time. Yeah, like a 25-minute set. That's crazy. When you think about 3 games being played in 25 minutes, like I mean, that's why I loved, right? Diva Hero. Because when you're able to do stuff like this, oh boy, you're the hottest duelist in the room, you
Well,
know?
that was another reason why you got to play Greffer. Like I was always anti-Greffer because I like Armageddonite because you can just play Armageddonite and it doesn't require anything in hand or like it's just a one card Goyo, a one card Brio. In this deck now we have Necro Gardener, so it's a one card Caius play. It's kind of like a Prodigy, like how Value plays Necro. You just summon the Armageddonite, save them, and then you can also go like Diva next turn into a Brio. So it's a lot of different lines you can play with sending the Necro Gardener. But the Greffer was never added back in. But since we put the Necro in, it was like, well, we can play Greffer now because now we have more cards that we can send to the graveyard. And it ended up working out all weekend because Armageddonite was being summoned like every game, and then Greffer was just going for kill.
Yeah, actually, that's something that I want to highlight is in one of my previous videos, I had like an interview where I kind of answer a lot of common questions rather about Diva Hero, and one of the questions was about like Dark Greffer versus Armageddonite. And my stance on it is if you're going to play one, Dark Greffer is 1000% the right choice. Now, of course, there are other Diva Hero players who believe differently, and that's fine, right? At the end of the day, you should play the deck that you feel most comfortable with, right? In the most comfortable manner. But the reason why I think Dark Greffer is better than Armageddonite in terms of one for one is because one, look at what Dark Greffer did. It enabled them to OTK. But it's not just being able to go for OTKs. It's also like I am a realist, and there are going to be hands where you draw double malicious. And if you draw double malicious and you have Armageddonite, it doesn't do anything. Like you can send a plague and like that's it. But at least if you have
You get
double
one
Mali
Mally out of
with
your
Dark
hand.
Greffer, like you can go summon Greffer, pitch the Mali out of your hand, send plague to the grave, stack the other Mali in your hand, and make a level 8 or level 6 or whatever level that you need at the time. So it's like one Dark Greffer. He's also an out to Fossil Dyna. Of course, Armageddonite is too. But 1700 is a pretty good stat line. He enables OTKs and also he fixes double malicious, right? So for these 3 reasons, that's why I really think that Dark Greffer is better in terms of one for one. Now, what you did, you and Televisual did, which is something that's really innovative that, as far as I know, no other Diva Hero player has done, is you just played both.
Yeah. Nobody plays both ever.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I've been researching lists even on YouTube. Just like random, just Diva Hero decks that people play with. Nobody's ever done both and a Necro Gardener.
Yeah. And I think that's actually really smart because if you're going to play both, then you're going to need more targets to send to the grave. So at that point, you do have to play Necro Gardener. So kind of like the last thing that I want to talk about, just some key features of the deck list, because I'm sure people are going to have questions. How did Necro Gardener perform throughout the weekend?
Uh, it saved me so many games, so many games
Yeah.
where like I don't pull into the Mirror Force or I have a synchro. Like Dark End Necro Gardener is so busted. because they have to waste so many resources to clear him, and then you just come back with a Miracle Fusion next turn after they burnt out everything. So like Necro Gardener Armageddon Knight is good because you can go into a Caius, or you can go into a Diva play next turn. That makes a level 6, and if you have a Mali in hand, that's a level 6 and 8. But um, it just I don't know. It just is the card's so good with a synchro on board. It just protects the synchro. Like you just Dark End and Necro is just it's too strong,
Yeah.
too strong
Yeah, and that's the
against
cool
everything.
thing about Diva Hero, right? It's like Diva Hero, it sets up a big board, and like if you can't break that board, then you're gonna lose the following turn. If you don't lose the turn that they make the board, and Necrogarna kind of makes it that much more harder to break over the board because you can't attack over all their monsters.
Yeah, and the main thing that hurts this deck is when you go like Stardust Zero, whatever, and then they go summon anything that's 2500, and then crash your guy like a Machina Fortress wrecks that board,
Yeah, Machina
and that happened
Fortress,
to me.
Armor Master.
Yeah, it's just 2500 just wrecks this deck when you try to set up a Stardust Zero. So you need to have Mirror Force, but if you don't have the Mirror Force, at least you have the Necrogarna
Right.
to protect the next turn. You can do whatever you need to do to get rid of that monster and not clear your entire board.
And the cool thing about Necrogarnet too is like in rare situations you can even combo it with Return from a Different Dimension.
Oh, I did that once. I brought it back with Return and Plague Spreader. I have Plague Spreader Necro. I made a level 5.
Yep. And I'm sure the opponents are going to be sick. Are there any other kind of like key cards in your deck that you want to talk about?
I mean, I think Karma Cut again overperformed. I sided it in the last event that I topped at the Deck Devastators, and it was really good against Blackwings. I didn't play any Blackwings. I don't
Oh,
believe. I think I might have played one. I'm not sure. It was so that it was a long day one, and then we had to play day two. So I don't remember what I played against. I know I played against Savayu. I played against Christian Sworn. I played against a couple zombie decks. I played in Diva Hero Mirror Match. Um, but I ended up 7-1, and Karma Cut literally came in against almost everything.
I see. I see. I mean, yeah, I actually really like that. If people start using Karma Cut, it's because of Bad Robot. That's how influential you are to the Yu-Gi-Oh meta as a whole, right? And not just in Diva Hero, even in other decks. And like that shows like you are one of the best players in the game right now, and people really look up to you. And back when I was playing Diva Hero, whenever I made a change, everybody followed suit. Case in point,
Mm.
a Spear Reaper. Nobody was really playing Spear Reaper in Diva Hero until I started playing it, right? And then there were other couple cards too, right? Like Deck Devastation Virus, right? Whether you main it or side it, right? That wasn't a card that was really played until and the list goes on and on and on. But it just shows that, like, I think right now where Diva Hero is, it's still not its point where it's at 100% optimal level. But because of players like you, Televisual, and even like Zach Savage and Kurosaki Ichigo, and so on and so forth, Oscar Urano, like together, you guys are really uh, making Diva Hero back in the limelight because people kind of have been sleeping on it these days, but you're here to show you that it's here to stay in Edison format.
Oh yeah, I mean it's topped the last 3 events. I topped with it Deck Devastator, Televisual topped with it last RBET. I topped with it this RBET. So it wasn't on the board. I don't think anybody was topping with Diva Hero in the last like 4 or 5 months. I
You're
think
right.
Worlds James Arc did, but
Yeah.
um he lost in top 8, I believe. But
Right.
other than that, the deck has. Other thing too is I wouldn't say that it's not good and nobody it's not topping. Just nobody plays it. So like if nobody plays the deck, it's not going to top because
There's no
if you have one Diva
representation.
Hero lit, yeah, there's no representation. Like if you have 100 values, then yeah, the probability of them topping is going to be super high. That's why they always top or win the event.
Yeah,
But
no,
Diva
I
Hero is
100%
like
agree.
super like nobody wants to play it because of the brick hands and then losing to oppression, but you just got to work around it. You got to play cards that beat those cards.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
definitely agree. Like the thing about Diva Hero is I'm not going to get on record and say that Diva Hero's a bad deck. I do think it's good, but one of the reasons why I personally stopped playing it is because I think that there are decks that can play around those cards better. But Diva Hero will always have a special place in my heart. And as we just see, you're here to show you've shown Like everybody, you should still be playing Diva Hero. Like that's the good thing about Edison format is you can literally play almost any competitive deck that you want because the format is so diverse. So if you want to play Diva
Yeah.
Hero, play Diva Hero.
Yeah, I mean, Diva Hero is fun. I actually enjoy playing the deck. And then it pisses people off when you kill them in 2 turns because it's like, this is not real. How did I just lose that fast?
All right, well, we're not going to go and rant on anymore. I hope that this really helped you guys understand more in depth about Diva Hero and how to play the deck. Bad Robo out here, OTKing everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing him come in top 8 or even win, rather, the EWCQ coming up this weekend. And if this video gets uploaded after the fact, then like you'll see that this was the prophecy that Dave will top. All right,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
With that, a true hero and Bad Robot out. Peace.
I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I would like to take this time to give a special shout out to my Patreons, Televisual, and Enraged Peacock. For those of you who are looking for exclusive content, please subscribe to my Patreon. The link will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, a true hero out. Peace.
Subscribe or you too will be sent to the Shadow Realm.